Okay,
I
good.
highly
So that gives a little bit of a, wet their whistle type of thing. What else would you like to say before we end our conversation about why they're going to want to be there Thursday night, Saturday? Why, why this technique is so important in today's market?
in today's market, I will tell you, business is really booming. I mean, it truly is. When I first heard of the pandemic and,
Yeah,
and the quarantine and everything,
yeah,
quite honestly, I went back to my mortgages. I thought, oh my gosh, what if they can't pay for 3 months or 6 months or whatever?
yeah.
And I realized that it hardly, if I were just to grant them a moratorium and say, look, times are rough right now. I tell you what, don't make payments for 90 days. I'll tack those payments onto the end of the note. My return might go down like 1/4%. And I mean, we're talking, I bought it at a
Yeah.
15% yield when you're making those kind of
Yeah.
returns, you know. And so you can truly help people. But what amazed me, Wendy, was the number of note sellers that need cash. And so, from the safety of your
Oh,
own
yeah.
home, you don't even have to leave your house using other people's money. You can find these seller carrybacks and get them under contract, flip them to somebody else, and you're doing a real service to the note seller because you're giving them the cash they need and you're making money in the process without ever leaving your home. So it's
Wow.
awesome for
Yeah.
this particular market.
Yeah, that sounds really great. Well, and I'm just going to do a little shout out and say that anyone who ends up working with you, Donna, and doing notes and mortgages that wants to flip to someone, I'm one of the people that want to buy those notes and mortgages. So
There you
make sure
go.
you look me up. I mean, you already have a potential buyer for some of those
Perfect.
notes and mortgages that would understand the concept of, I'm not an expert in notes and mortgages by any means, although I'd like to learn a lot more from you, Donna. You are the expert and you're the person I would learn from to make sure that I can do this technique, and because you already know what's proven, what works, what doesn't work. So you're the person I would learn from, and I will learn from. And then also those of you that are learning from Donna, please, consider me as one of those buyers if you're out finding a deal. Just like the wholesalers always tell them, hey, add me to your list. I'm a buyer.
We're,
Same
we're
thing
going
with
to be
this.
calling you, Wendy,
I
and,
know.
and I will help you with everything, okay?
Yeah,
And as you're selling off your properties, I will help you and show you how to create notes that will give you top dollar when you go to sell them.
excellent.
That's the most important thing,
Yeah,
okay?
and you're going to talk a little bit about that, I think, on Saturday
Yes,
too. What makes a note a little more valuable? What makes it less valuable? Now, just one real quick thing for
absolutely.
a teaser. What kind of average returns do you see on notes and mortgages? What is your average?
Wendy, if I told you, you would not believe me.
Well, I'm interested.
I mean, yeah, well, if you negotiate the early payoffs, you buy at a discount, and
Yeah.
you negotiate an early payoff, and it was a long-term note, and you're going to get your discount early. I mean, seriously, you can get over 50%, 50, 75, 95%. I'm going to
Whoa.
show an example of one of my students who had like a 97% or 95%. But
Wow.
even even on notes that don't have a huge profit built in, you should average it with the early payoffs a minimum of 15%
Okay.
on your early
Good.
payoff notes.
So it's going
And
to be like as good as like a hard money lender, and yet maybe a lot better. It's kind
it's
of
a
got the
lot better because with the hard money loans, you don't get the benefit of the discount.
okay. So
You
those
get
of
your
you,
nice rate of return and maybe a prepayment penalty, but that pales in comparison to getting the early payoff when you bought it at a discount. So it's way
wow.
better than private loans.
Yeah.
Plus, you have a pay history. If you're buying a note and someone's made payments on time every month for a year or 2 years, that's a much safer investment than creating a new note for someone.
Right, right. And that's really what you're looking for is those safer performing, that's what a performing mortgage would be. And then of course, if they're paying you 5, 6, 7, 8, 9%, whatever that might be on the note, plus the discount you got, that's a huge rate of return. But if
That's what makes it sweet. Yes.
yes, yes, but if you could help them get back into a conventional loan at 2.5, 3% they are right now, around three probably, then
Yep.
it's going to save them half the money. So they're going to want to try to get it refinanced if they
Exactly.
can. So that's where that
Exactly.
early payoff comes in, right?
Yes.
Got
Absolutely.
it.
And hey, you
It's
let it
clicking,
slip about
Donna.
you let that slip about commercial.
Yeah.
We buy commercial notes as well.
Yeah.
Everything I teach can also be done with commercial notes.
Very nice. Yes. And I would think a lot of
I see the
commercial.
wheels are turning.
Yeah, they are. They're like tick, 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 tick. I mean, I'm sorry if there's anyone listening and watching this that I'm a hard money lender to, and I say, no, I'm making more on Donna's stuff and notes for mortgages. You'll know why.
We definitely need to get together.
Yeah, we definitely do. Yes, and I will see you, I'm sure. I will see you this weekend. So,
Yes.
okay, great. Well, thank you. Thanks so much for your time, Donna. And I really want to encourage you guys. Check the link below. I think that's where Olivia will probably paste it. After we record this, she'll probably put a link where you can register for Thursday evening and Saturday. You're not going to want to miss this. You can see that Donna knows her stuff. She's a really interesting speaker to listen to. She's a wealth of knowledge, and she's a real deal. She's still doing notes and mortgages. You want to make sure when you are listening to someone for advice that they're the people that are still doing what they're teaching you, right? That
Absolutely.
they're in it and they're doing it. So thank you very much, Donna.
Thank you for having me on. I can't wait to see everybody Thursday night and all day Saturday.
Yep.
I promise you it will be a real treat for you.
Yes, I know it will be. Okay, get registered.